Good morning. I'm Robin Wicker with Geoponics and Endurant Landscape Colorants. I'm here with Jeff Juknowitz with Terra Garden Solutions here in Naples, Florida. Jeff, you've been using the Endurant now, for a couple years.
Yeah, I think I met you 3 years ago. I saw an ad online that said something about lawn painting, and I thought it was so ridiculous. I got to call this guy.
Yeah. So you were a little bit skeptical initially, and you tried it out. And can you tell us, tell us a little bit about, what happened?
Yeah. So I was a lot of it skeptical.
Okay.
To start, to the point that I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And as I progressed through, and you gave me a little bit here and there, and I went through, I'd paint a lawn in the winter, and it looked real good, and I started getting compliments on it. And I realized that this is actually a really good idea.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what your company does.
So we do only pest control and fertilizer. So that's basically, we work with the lawn guys direct and the homeowners direct. And we do the IPM, the fertilizer, everything to make the color green, keep the weeds out, make it look really nice.
Now you use Endurant perennial rye.
Yes.
Okay. So I think everything you do is you treat is zoysia.
Yeah, so we do zoysia. Sometimes we have to do a St. Augustine, but that's only out of necessity. For instance, the other day on the front berm it was a big builder that we have, and it's the front berm of their new community going in.
Right.
And they had an irrigation problem, and we decided just to take the Z spray over it, put some paint down until it grows back out, which it'll get there soon, but it's stressed, and the builder does not want to see that.
Right.
So it's high pressure situation like that made the problem go away instantly, which is a big help on us, because just telling people to be patient, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Well, what if something happens? What if you get mole cricket damage in that time? What if you get a fungus that comes in that time? It really helps you cover your butt so that you don't look like a fool.
Right.
Where other people would.
In your company with Terra Garden Solutions, you kind of went through a transition. Like you said, you started out, gave it a little bit, tried it in some spots, and then the next year you tried a little bit more.
Yeah.
And what happened this year? I mean, basically, you do a lot of lawns here in Southwest Florida, and you can literally ride around town and say, oh, well, there's Terra Garden, there's Terra Garden.
We currently service 8,500 homes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's big. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Right.
We hit all our zoysias twice. In doing that, I've come out of this year with the healthiest zoysia. This is one that what's the date today? January 21st.
Right.
We painted this one twice this year. Normally we'd have to go back, do our fungicides multiple times. It was literally only twice.
Yeah.
And this has come out of it so well. It doesn't even look like it even went dormant.
Right.
To this homeowner or anyone on the street. And I feel like it comes out of dormancy better when you paint it.
Yeah, and that's typically
almost like it has a jacket on.
Yeah, and so what Jeff's talking about is whether it be golf courses, sports turf, lawns, typically you can expect a 4 to 6 week earlier transition time. And down here in South Florida, it's about keeping the temperature up. But if you're somewhere else, let's say you're in Georgia, the Carolinas, Texas, Tennessee, it's just like, imagine, wearing a white jacket versus a black jacket.
Yeah.
So it'll help increase the canopy temperature, and so that turf will actually transition itself out about, somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks earlier. In this case, a lot of the lawns that are painted, they just seem to do a little bit better. And I've heard this not only from the landscape professionals or spray professionals, golf course superintendents. I hear that kind of same thing and of course that's going to have its benefits, as opposed to, we don't do that much overseeding down here, but other places in the country, if you can get away from overseeding, you don't have the competition of the perennial ryegrass and whatever cultivar you're growing. It gives it the opportunity to thrive when springtime comes.
Yeah. So I would say a few different things. Number one, I would say a very agronomically sound company. My program's a very good program, but one thing that's hard to battle is dormancy. And I realized that there is 2 items that you really need to check mark, and that's agronomics and aesthetics. And I think that they go hand in hand when it comes to winter. You could have an agronomically sound lawn that is dormant and doesn't look good, and you can aesthetically help it out. And by doing so, I tell you, I've gotten so many phone calls in the past, I'd say 6 weeks. A lot of compliments, a lot of people calling us saying their lawns are the greenest. No one, calling saying, hey, you're painting your lawns, you're phony, nothing like that. There's no backlash at all. I mean, I've literally gotten nothing but compliments. I'll tell you this, I talk to a lot of different pest control companies, and they call me up and they say, man, it's a bad season for fungus, huh? And I keep on, he said, I went out to this one house now 4 times already, and I'm sitting there like, man, like, I haven't done that at all this year. Even though if there's an issue like fungus, we're putting the fungicide in with the paint, and then we're going out, we're spraying it, and we had to do it twice, but we're not getting called back numerous times because a fungus spot. Remember, when a fungus, Rhizoctonia, pops up in the winter like this, that spot's going to be there until you get your soil temps above 65.
Right, so it's there for the
So
winter.
it's there.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? You need to aesthetically treat it, because the homeowner's not going to understand.
Right.
He still sees it there. He thinks it's still active. So he's having you go back out, back out, back out. I can't imagine how much money I saved by doing this year, because the amount of phone calls that I got from other guys that were hurting this year, and me, I'm sitting there like, well, we're good. We're coasting, man.
Yeah.
I got phone calls coming in. I've got new clients coming on.
Well, we appreciate so much you taking the time to talk with us. I know there's a lot of people that are interested in hearing from one of their peers about how this works, how is it working for them. And I think it's awesome. I'm so glad your business is doing great.
And my dad up in Sarasota, he saw my results down here, and he said, Jeff, I think next year we're gonna end up painting all our zoysias. So, and he's old school. He's 60 something.
Right. Yeah.
That's not in his repertoire to change anything.
Right.
So,
I understand. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and we appreciate so much your business, and so glad it's working out for you with Endurant.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, man.